According to reports, part of the Southern Cameroon delegation had wished for the conference to be extended so they could negotiate more, but some Southern Cameroonian leaders like Foncha were too happy to be reuniting with their brothers. Coupled with the fact that they were given VIP treatment during the conference, they didn't really see a need for wasting time. The constitution for the new Federal Republic was agreed in Yaoundé in August 1961 between Ahidjo and Foncha, pending approval by the House of Assembly of the two states. In the end, the West Cameroon House of Assembly never ratified the constitution. However, on October 1, 1961, the Federal Republic of Cameroon nevertheless came to fruition with Ahidjo as president and John Foncha as vice president. French Cameroon became East Cameroon and Southern Cameroon became West Cameroon. But for the purpose of this video, we shall continue using their former names for better understanding. On 30th September, the British administrators left the Southern Cameroons. The next day, the Army of French Cameroon marched over the border. The mobile wing armed police of the Southern Cameroons was disarmed by them. It is described as a forceful takeover. An official from French Cameroon was appointed in the position of a Governor General over the Southern Cameroons. His official title was Inspecteur Fédéral d'Administration. He was accountable directly to the President of French Cameroon. Then followed a host of other French Cameroon civil servants, including subsequently its police force, which literally took over Southern Cameroons. In 1965, Augustin N. Njua became the Prime Minister of Southern Cameroon, but was sacked by President Ahidjo in 1968 and replaced by St. Muna. French advisors of President Ahidjo recommended the introduction of bilingual schools to educate and assimilate Southern Cameroonians in favor of French Cameroon. The aim was to slowly absorb the Anglo-Saxon Southern Cameroonians into the Francophone hemisphere. That happened additionally to the massive deployment of administrators from East Cameroon. At this point, tensions started rising in Southern Cameroon, which led to Foncha expressing his unhappiness with Ahidjo's progressive assimilation and marginalization of the people of Southern Cameroons. Ahidjo sacked him from the position of vice president and replaced him with St. Muna in 1970. In 1972, President Ahidjo declared to conduct a referendum about the form of the state. The Southern Cameroon's lawmakers heavily opposed and rejected that idea, stating that the articles in the Fumban document that read thus, "Any proposal for the revision of the present constitution which impairs the unity and integrity of the federation shall be inadmissible, and proposals for the revision shall be adopted by simple majority vote of the members of the Federal Assembly, provided that such majority includes a majority of the representatives of each of the federated states, not through referendum." Ahidjo ignored the concerns, so under duress and to avoid bloodshed, Southern Cameroonians submitted to Ahidjo's decision. On 20th May 1972, the referendum was conducted with a favorable outcome for Ahidjo. The whole process was in violation of Article 47 of the Constitution of the Federation, which prohibited any attempts to change the federal form of the state. The name of the state was changed from Federal Republic of Cameroon to the United Republic of Cameroon. Ahidjo then divided Southern Cameroon into two parts, which he called Northwest and Southwest provinces, today known as regions. At the time, Southern Cameroonians were totally against Ahidjo's rule, and animosity started to increase among Southern Cameroonians because they felt totally disrespected and marginalized. Despite the fact that Southern Cameroonians were against Ahidjo's decisions, Cameroon as a country was doing well economically, but most resources was being moved to French Cameroon. Development projects by Southern Cameroon leaders were either rejected, cancelled or executed in French Cameroon. Due to health issues, Ahidjo could not continue as president, so he handed over power to Paul Biya, whom he had been grooming for a long time. When Biya took over power from Ahidjo, he further aggravated the whole situation by single-handedly changing the name of the country from the United Republic of Cameroon to the Republic of Cameroon, which was the initial name of French Cameroon after independence. The change led to the removal of one star from the flag, which represented the two states, implying Cameroon was one and indivisible state. Southern Cameroon, through several efforts, fought to return to federalism, but all their efforts were abortive. It was during their struggle to return to federalism, or worst-case scenario, secession, that the word Ambazonia was first used by lawyer and political activist Fon Gorgi Dinka, where he called on the people of Southern Cameroon to secede and form a new state known as the Republic of Ambazonia. It was in this light that beginning in 1984, Ambazonia was declared to represent an intervention of the people of Southern Cameroon to return to statehood of the former British Southern Cameroon's territory. The group under Gorgi Dinka believed that by operation of the law, there should be an equal participation by the two states that made up the now extinct federation in a new vision for their countries, Republic of Cameroon and the Southern Cameroons, relations with each other. In the document dubbed the New Social Order, the Ambazonians' proposal of CACIN, the Cameroon Ambazonian Confederacy of Independent Nations, was summarily rejected by the Republic of Cameroon. Instead, the leader of ARC, Ambazonia Restoration Council, Fon Gorji Dinka was arrested and tried for treason for claiming the continuing existence of the sovereignty of the Southern Cameroons in the Republic of Ambazonia. During the presidential election in 1992, Southern Cameroonians and a vast majority of French Cameroonians rallied behind John Fundi because they felt if they couldn't get secession, at least they should get someone from Southern Cameroon rule the country, because they believed if they had a Southern Cameroonian as president, they would return to federalism. Unfortunately, John Fundi lost to Paul Biya. Despite the massive protests that followed the proclamation of the result due to claim of elections irregularities, Biya was sworn in as president for a second term in November. The government of French Cameroon continued to suppress the people of Southern Cameroon, and in 1994, John Foncha and Solomon Muna, both former prime ministers of the Southern Cameroons, returned to the United Nations in New York and demanded separate independence for the Southern Cameroons. The mission to the UN preceded the All-Anglophone Conference, AAC-1, which took place in Buea, bringing together all Southern Cameroonian citizens who unanimously called for the restoration of the statehood of the Southern Cameroons. A second All-Anglophone Conference, AAC-2, was held in Bamenda, at which the decisions of AAC-1 were reiterated and a reasonable time given to French Cameroon to accept a return to the two-state federation, failing which the people of the Southern Cameroons would be left with no other option than to revive its statehood and revise its independence. The implementation of AAC-1 and AAC-2 were however stalled by the brutal arrest and incarceration of the leaders of the AAC, with several others escaping into exile. The desire for self-determination remained alive in the people of Southern Cameroon till October 2016, when everything escalated and took another turn. The crisis started with the teachers and lawyers' peaceful protest. The lawyers had sent an ultimatum to the government of Cameroon calling for a redeployment of French-speaking judges from English-speaking courts and the translation of the Ohada law from French to English. The Cameroon government initially responded by cracking down on lawyers' demonstrations, as well as separatist protesters and insurgents. This led to a full-fledged guerrilla war in Southern Cameroon as teachers and students joined the lawyers in protest. Something that initially started as peaceful demonstration gradually metamorphosed into a full-blown civil war. The lawyers and teachers were accused to be the cause of the crisis, but in reality the ongoing crisis in Cameroon was caused by years of marginalization. On the 1st of October 2017, at the climax of the crisis, the separatists from Southern Cameroon declared the independence of Southern Cameroon, which led to more violence. On November 30, 2017, the president of Cameroon declared war on the Anglophone separatists. This marked the start of a very violent confrontation between government forces and armed separatists. The conflict started in Manu Division, where the Ambazonia Defense Force operated. From there, the conflict spread to other parts like Lebialem, Fako, Momo, Bui, and Ngokitunja. Several different armed factions have emerged, such as the Red Dragons, Tigers, ARA, Seven Kata, ABL, amongst others. Several villages and towns have been burned down, such as Kwakwa, Kembong, Tadu in So, and Muyenge. On 5th January 2018, members of the Ambazonia interim government, including its president Sisiku Julius Ayuk Tabe, were arrested in Nigeria and deported to Cameroon. They were subsequently arrested